Not long ago, I posted a video about my tabletop talk that had to do with KickStarter mistakes, and one of the big ones was the rulebook. Well, what do Ceti Planetary Crisis and Endangered Orphans of Condal Cove both have in common? Well, they were both kickstarted. I received both of them in the mail recently, and they both had some errors in the rule books, or perhaps rules that weren't quite explainable, but they are solving them, and in two different ways. So let's get right to it. I'll say it once again. The rulebook cannot be ignored when creating a game, especially if you are kickstarting it. If you're kickstarting it, it probably means that you're a smaller developer, and maybe this is one of the first games you've created, and you know your game very, very well. So well, in fact, that you're probably going to leave rules out of the rulebook that are not intuitive to players who, well, didn't create the game. So let's take a look at Endangered Orphans and see what I'm talking about. Here are the rules pamphlets. And they do a decent job. They give you the bare minimum for being able to play the game. Here is the horrible basics of the rules. And then you've got the solo version and a little bit of the other expansions that come in the main box, at least for the Kickstarter version. And they're each just 4 pages long. But they don't quite tell you everything you need to know about the game. And this is something that happens very often in creating board games. The creators of the game know their game so well that they don't realize that certain rules aren't obvious to those of us who are opening this box for the first time. And I can't tell you how important it is for your players to be able to pick up the box, open it, read the rule book, and know how to play it without having to go to any FAQ or demonstration video, even though you're more than welcome to watch our demonstration videos of games that we have. Always. But take a look right here where it describes how you can set up your game as far as the map of Condal Cove goes. Here is the example in the rule pamphlet that comes in the box. And, well, they've received a lot of questions and curiosities from their players after their games reach their backers. And so what they have done is they have written a rulebook 2.0. And whereas this was 4 pages long and this also was 4 pages long, leading to a total of 8 pages, the new rulebook is 20 pages long and is much more complete. Let's switch over to the monitor and see that now we have this example of what Condal Cove can look like and examples of where cards shouldn't go. This is so much better as far as telling people who have never played the game before how it should look, how it can be set up, and the rules on where things can and can't go. In fact, this entire rule book is very beautiful, and I can't wait to see it in future versions of the game. But for now, they've created a print and play to go with this game. Now, to switch over to Outer Limit Games, who created Ceti. Now, their rulebook was much thicker. This is a much more complex game. And look at how thick that is. It's a total of, let's see how many pages this one is. It's a 27-page rulebook, and there's some quick references on the back of the rulebook as well. And so this game, people still had questions pertaining to it, but it was much more complete. So as people got this and the backers started playing this wonderful game, they started coming up with questions and maybe some curiosities, things that the rulebook did explain, but perhaps not in good enough detail, such as what to do with commodity tokens. But they're also coming up with what is known as Errata. And Errata is basically a name for revisions to a rule. So changing it from, say right here, when we skip to our monitor, we've got a revision for the Galactic Marauders. The Marauder Patrols that have a number 2 on them and the fleets that have a 4 on them are now reduced to 1 hit and 2 hits respectively. So in reading the rule book, you would think that they had 2 hit points and 4 hit points and also attacked with a 2 and a 4, which is insanely powerful, especially if you're just starting off in the game. So having a 1 hit point and 2 hit point and only attacking with a 1 or a 2 is so much better. So with this errata that they've added, that corrects that situation. They've also corrected in the Ceti and cycles that whenever you gain your in-demand supply on your home planet, you also gain one of those in your ship, and that goes towards so much more. It's just adds so much more to the game, because now you're able to mess with these commodities more. You're able to sell and buy and use them for their different abilities so much easier, and it frees you up to do so many other things in this very complex game. So we've got 2 examples of 2 Kickstarter games who are using slightly different methods of correcting their rule books and rebalancing their game. The guys at Outer Limit Games also have this thread on Board Game Geek, which I will provide a link to at the bottom of this video. And if you got the Endangered Orphans of Condal Cove from Certifiable Studios, then you can also go to their Kickstarter page and find their update where they have the Rulebook 2.0. And I will also see if I can add a link to that in the video. But this has been Joshua Thomas reminding you that failing is a part of life. But do try to get the rulebook right the first time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure and click on the links at the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed.